Good morning, YouTube. How are you guys all doing today? This is going to be a really interesting topic that we have for you. As usual, it is I, T-Bone,
And letters.
and we're here to help you guys out. We're noticing there's a trend of a lot of just interesting love advice out there, and I figure we've been together for 12 years. We've seen the ups and downs. Let's see if we can put in our 2 cents and help people get their heads on the right track. As you can see, this one is entitled, Do I Let Him Keep Breaking My Heart? We're going to slide on over to the actual story and let letters take over from there.
My ex-boyfriend, 20-year-old male, and I, 20-year-old female, broke up a few weeks ago. We dated for almost 2.5 years with several breakups in between. He broke up with me because he wasn't sure what he wanted anymore and was tired of arguing. Long story short, I was heartbroken, so I agreed to be friends with him. I started casually hanging out with a few men and have no romantic feelings for them other than sexual attraction. I know my ex also had sex with other women. We have broken up before, but this is the first time we've been broken up and seen other people. Last week, he came to me and said he made a huge mistake and that he wanted to be with me again. This is not the first time he has broken up with me or tried to break up with me and taken it back. I love him, I really do, but I'm not sure if I can trust him to not put us in this position again, even though he swears he learned his lesson. He desperately wants to be with me again, and I feel so much guilt for not feeling the same way toward him. Half of me wants to just take him back, and the other half wants to be left alone. Just today, I found out my ex sent a message to a man I am talking to, but quickly deleted it before he could see it. I made it very clear I am still seeing other people and need time to decide if I want to be with him. He is being possessive and we're not even together. I'm not sure how to feel anymore because I do love him, just nothing feels right anymore. I'm scared I'm going to go running back to him like every time and regret it. But I'm also not sure if he really means that we won't ever be in this position again. I feel like he took me for granted and he sees it as he needed time to decide. I'm not even sure how to feel. I'll feel so guilty if I hurt him now by saying I don't want to be with him, and I'm scared I'll regret it in the future. I'm also scared I'd be making the wrong decision by staying with him.
All right, so as you can tell, it should be obvious. Let me start off by saying it should be obvious. The answer is don't get back together. But the real question is why? And I feel like that's the part that everybody always messes up. We were reading through some of the comments and I was going to post them, but they're really not that interesting because again, they're telling her, hey, don't get back if you feel pressured, but they're not really explaining to her what the main issue is. Or I should say what I feel the main issue is.
Yeah, I feel too.
One thing is if you broke up with someone, you broke up for a reason. I almost exclusively say especially when someone dumps you, never go back to that relationship. There is a reason they left you. And it's almost the same thing when you flip it. If you left someone, don't go back to that past relationship. There was a reason you guys broke up, and most likely those reasons won't change. Or I should say, in every relationship that I've seen, those reasons don't change.
Yeah, and of course, there's always that exception that proves the rule where, maybe one or both people really changed and a lot of time has gone by and then they get back together and it works out. And people like to hold that up as, that's true love, overcoming everything. And the fact is that really doesn't happen with most relationships. A lot of the time there's too much baggage. And you also know that if somebody has broken up with you and then wants to get back together and then breaks up and gets back together, as this person said in the very beginning that they had already broken up several times and gotten back together, that person is not going to be with you through the hard times, and therefore it is not a long-term relationship.
Yeah, and that's another key that I wanted to talk about real quick is I talk with this about the younger guys who I used to speak with when I was working at a college. I used to work at the college that I used to go to. And one of the things I would always say, and I've been saying this, oh my God, I've been saying this for so long, I don't even know how long I've been saying it anymore, is if someone dumps you when your relationship doesn't have real problems, once you two get older, that's when the really important problems will actually come up, and there is no way they're going to stay. If someone breaks up with you for something as simple as, let's say, we live 3 hours apart from each other, and I don't want to do that far of a long distance. I want to call it off. do you really think that that person's going to stay if one of you loses a job? Or if, God forbid, something really crazy happens, like you lose a child or something like that? If there's anything financial or a loss of life or anything, that almost always results in a breakup. And you're telling me before you even get to something that huge, the person wants to dump you over nothing? That's not a real relationship, and you shouldn't be wasting your time with that.
Yeah, I also find it very suspicious that the guy was immediately going out and hooking up with other girls during this break. And as soon as she started maybe exploring her options, that's when he was like, oh no, I made a terrible mistake. We need to get back together. That's not love, that's jealousy. And I don't even think that that can really be characterized as a loving feeling. It's possessiveness.
Yeah, that's actually a joke that if you're on certain corners of the internet, we'll say there's a joke that what happens a lot of the time is I think specifically when a girl says, "Oh, we need to take a break." There's already another guy lined up, and then if things don't work out, that's when they come running back and saying, "Oh, I made a mistake. I'm so sorry. I didn't know. I had to go find myself." Is one of the biggest BS phrases of all time. If somebody dumps you and says they either needed to go find themselves or they're saying in present tense, I need to go find myself, just run in the opposite direction. Don't even waste your damn time. But that's the joke, is that they dump a person off, get with whoever the secret lover is that they kind of wanted all along, and then when it doesn't work out, they come back and say, "Oh, I've seen the error of my ways." I guess this is just the male version of that, which is just, yeah, I don't want to do this anymore, and I'll be back in a few weeks. And unfortunately, this poor girl, at least on some level, is falling for it.
Yeah. Yeah, the fact that she's even considering getting back with him. She's only 20. It's very likely that this was maybe first love, that they probably got together maybe in the beginning of college or something like that. And sometimes people get too attached to that. And it's really a bummer. And I really hope that she can let this relationship go. She should not be friends with him. I don't think that it's a good idea to be close with exes in general, just because if you were very serious about somebody, it can then sometimes make it hard to move on if they're constantly in your face. And so I think that she should cut ties with him at least for a little while in order to find herself and explore herself. I know you don't like that phrase, and I do also think that, you know, exploring yourself is a very valid thing to do. It's when it's used as an excuse for a breakup that it's BS. When you are exploring yourself, you should be exploring yourself with the person that you're with and growing together as a couple. That's a more healthy way to do it.
Yeah, I mean, I gotta hard agree with the don't be friends with your exes thing. I know there are definitely some people who've done it. Or let me rephrase that. I am sure that there are some people who've done it. I don't think I've ever seen it done successfully.
Yeah, I mean, I was friends with an ex, but A, we hadn't been very serious. We didn't date for that long, and B, it was not the same level of friendship that we had before the relationship.
Yeah,
We kind of downgraded to acquaintances.
and that's what I was gonna say. Usually, what happens is, let's just say that they're pleasant with each other, but it never goes back to what it was, which I think it's a good sign. I don't think you want to try to get it back to where it was. But also, because another thing I'm thinking of is, and actually, it's kind of weird that we're going down this path because that's kind of what the guy is doing. Once you start to see your ex with someone else, some people start to get that, what is that called? The rose-colored glasses?
Yeah, yeah.
It's like the How I Met Your Mother episode.
Mm-hmm.
They start looking, and they're only thinking about the good things, and like, oh, we were so nice together. It was so nice to cuddle, but getting kissed, and blah blah blah. When in reality, you're only looking at the good part, and it's like I said right at the beginning. There was a reason that you guys didn't last. Sometimes, yes, I understand that it's, there was something outside of your control that maybe came in and messed up the relationship. But specifically when someone just says, hey, I'm not into this anymore, or I'm out of love with you, or something like that, that's something that's, internal. That's something that's in the relationship that this person has decided is so important, I need to leave.
Yeah, remember, he said that he was tired of arguing.
Yeah. And I mean, if you're arguing, why are you together in the first place? Another quick aside is a slight change of topic, but I hate when people talk about how, oh, every relationship is arguments or whatever. It depends on what you mean by arguing, and it depends on how intense they are.
Yeah.
Disagreements, fine. If you're yelling at each other, it's time to bounce. You shouldn't be doing that with your partner. And again, I got to reiterate, especially if you're only 2 years in. 2 years in, I think that's still considered the honeymoon phase.
Yeah. And who knows if that was even 2 years straight. If they're
breaking up to get back together. Up, that might not even have been 2 years straight. I didn't even think about it like that.
Yeah.
Dude, if you're arguing and you're only 2-3 years in, I would say don't even waste your time. Again, it depends on the level of arguments. And of course, I was looking through in the comments. She doesn't say how intense they were. Or excuse me. Yeah, I said that right. She doesn't say how intense they were, just that he was tired of the arguing. Which means he was right when he left and he should have stayed gone, let her move on, and he needs to move on.
I also feel like she doesn't even really, in the text, it seems like she doesn't even really want to get back together with him because she says she loves him, but it almost feels more like fear of missing out because he's kind of giving her a now or never. And also guilt about hurting his feelings. So it's like he wants to get back together because he's jealous. She wants to get back together because she feels guilty. None of these are good reasons to get back together.
This is the making of an unhealthy relationship and, God forbid, a disgustingly bad marriage. If they keep, I don't even know what the word is, if they keep falling all over each other in this disgusting way, like, this is like the most red flag post I think I've read today. Second most. We'll get to that one later. But yeah, it's you should get with someone because you like being with them. If there is some sort of weird feeling of, what would you call it? Duty, maybe?
Yeah.
If there is some sort of duty, like, this person likes me, so I have to like them back, that is guaranteed resentment later down the line. And resentment is the last thing you want in your relationship. Yeah, resentment is the last thing you want in your relationship, again, especially if you're trying to go long term. So make sure, for goodness, it feels like this should be obvious, but the fact that we see these posts on Reddit so often, people don't seem to understand. Only get with someone if you like them.
Yeah.
Don't get with someone because you're scared that you're going to miss something. Like, I don't know what the fear is. Like, does he have money? Is she afraid he's going to be famous or something like that? That came to mind because I actually heard a girl say that absurd, I'm worried. And I said, and we were talking about why. And she was worried because he was, I forget, like an engineer or a banker or something, and she didn't want to miss out on the money. And I'm like, so you want to use him?
They're both 20, so they probably not even at that point yet. But
well, this girl was 21. So I don't know. Maybe something's going on with the younger generation. They're thinking about that quote unquote financial security a bit early.
Yeah.
But the point is, again, if you broke up with somebody, you're not gonna rekindle the old romance. There's some baggage. I like that word, by the way. There's some baggage there that's not gonna go away if you broke up over a specific reason. And especially if you didn't even fix the reason why you broke up, which it doesn't sound like they did.
Yeah, don't backslide, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, that's the main takeaway.
It's an absolute waste of your time. Move on, make new relationships, meet new people. Yes, it's difficult, I understand, and especially right now, we got the bug out there. I get it. But it's it is a much better idea to go out and start something new with somebody else than to try to, the problem is she's not even trying to fix it. They're just thinking about getting back together.
Yep.
But it's much better idea to go meet somebody new than to just re-enter the same old trash that you've already been a part of for no reason whatsoever.
Yeah, and not to say, we're not saying don't work on problems in a relationship, but this person already gave up and broke up multiple times. Just end it.
Yeah. If they leave you over nothing, they're definitely going to leave you over something.
Yep.
Well, thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed yourself. We'll be back with another video. I almost gave a date again. I got to stop doing that. Soon. Soon is my answer.
Soon.
We'll be back with another video soon. You guys make sure you have a good night, and for God's sakes, be careful. If I understand some of y'all are desperate and you post to Reddit and you're looking for some good advice, just be careful. Some of those people give. I'm gonna go into this later, but just really weird. It's not even instinctive advice. It's just like, oh, you hate each other? Well, work on it. Oh, you've been working on it for 10 years, working it for 12. And it's like, at some point, you guys got to learn when to just break things off. Like I accidentally just rambled and I'm not breaking off this video.
Yeah.